The bottom line was this: these folks achieved more by doing less. The people I'm speaking of stopped fighting food and started embracing it. They stopped denying and began nourishing themselves. They relaxed when they ate and so increased their metabolism. They chose healthy pleasure over pain. They worked with natural rhythms rather than against them. They ceased being victimized by food, by their bodies, and by anyone else's standards, and instead took responsibility for making simple but profound changes that created an empowered metabolic state. They slowed down and trusted life. I've had the great satisfaction of witnessing many metabolic transformations in my work at Canyon Ranch and at the Kripalu Center with corporate clients and live workshops with thousands of students, and in our own work at the Institute of the Psychology of Eating, which has reached literally hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Surprisingly, these changes are quite commonplace and are available to anyone. A slow down success story. Sandy dieted for 6 years without lasting results. She'd go from one system to the next, but any amount of weight she lost would quickly find its way back on. She complained of ongoing gastric reflux, heartburn, and bouts of overeating. She lived in a relentless battle with food that consumed a significant chunk of her life energy. Despite a clean bill of health from her doctor, Sandy was convinced that her problem was a sluggish metabolism. She was tired of struggling with food and exercise, but didn't know which way to turn. In less than 6 weeks' time working together, Sandy lost 15 pounds, and within 4 months she was a total of 45 pounds lighter while eating more fat and exercising less. Her war with food was over, and she finally had what she wanted. Here's what we did. First, we focused on quality. When we met, Sandy's diet consisted of very little fresh or homemade food. She ate lots of artificially sweetened and mass-produced products with poor quality fat. She ate almost no low toxic nutrient-dense foods. Using the guidelines you'll read about in Chapter 2, we improved the quality of Sandy's diet. In doing so, the quantity of food she ate naturally began to diminish. When the body fails to receive the quality nutrition it desires, it isn't always smart enough to call for better food. It screams more food. Next, we looked at rhythm. Sandy had been skipping breakfast, eating a small and hurried lunch, and having a big dinner after work sometime around 8 o'clock. Like Sandy, what most people don't realize is that the body metabolizes food more effectively at midday, specifically at the point when the sun is highest in the sky. Research shows that we burn calories best at lunch. Late evening and early morning hours are the least efficient times for metabolizing food. Sumo wrestlers don't gain weight by eating tons of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. They eat the same rice, vegetables, and sushi as their fellow countrymen. The difference is that they eat this food in great quantity and eat late at night. Sandy didn't realize that she was on the sumo diet. I recommended that she eat a real breakfast, a good-sized lunch, and a small dinner. She would be eating more calories but concentrating them at the time of peak metabolic efficiency. And by taking more time to eat, she would be literally mixing more oxygen with her meal, resulting in greater calorie burning capacity and more robust digestion. Next, because Sandy described herself as a fast eater, I asked her to relax and to breathe. There's something scientists call the cephalic phase digestive response, the CPDR. Cephalic means of the head. The cephalic phase digestive response is a fancy term for the body's experience of the taste, aroma, satisfaction, visuals, and overall pleasure of a meal. Depending upon which research study you consider, anywhere from 20 to 80% of our calorie burning power, digestive power, and assimilation of specific nutrients comes directly from CPDR, the head phase of digestion. By rushing through her meals, Sandy significantly diminished her metabolism. Her rapid-fire eating was locking her body into a stress response, which dramatically decreases digestion and calorie-burning ability. After incorporating simple, deep breathing exercises, the increased oxygenation and blood flow to her digestive system stimulated thermic efficiency, her calorie-burning power. Breathing and relaxation also reversed her stress-induced digestive shutdown, which completely cleared her chronic gastric reflux. After these successes, I asked Sandy to do something that initially seemed beyond reason. I suggested she enjoy eating and allow herself to feel nourished and to let go of any guilt no matter what she ate. This was especially difficult for Sandy because she had spent much of her adult life fighting food. For the first time ever, Sandy was truly considering the possibility of not inflicting pain upon herself, but inflicting pleasure instead. Indeed, pleasure is a powerful metabolizer that increases oxygenation and blood flow and decreases the production of cortisol and insulin, ultimately helping to burn fat and build muscle. It also induces parasympathetic nervous system dominance, which activates full digestive metabolism and calorie burning power. Finally, we dealt with Sandy's biggest challenge, overeating. To her surprise, I explained that she had never been able to conquer her overeating problem for one simple reason: the problem didn't actually exist. In my experience, I've learned that about 9 out of 10 people who claim to be overeaters really have a different issue. They don't eat when they eat because of a deficiency of a key universal metabolizer, awareness. Many of us doze off while we eat. Failing to notice our food, we completely bypass the body's satiation mechanism. The result is that we hunger for more. As you may recall from junior high school biology class, all organisms on the planet, be they amoeba, lizard, lion, or human being, are programmed for 2 things in common: to seek pleasure and to avoid pain. When we eat, we are pursuing the pleasure of food and avoiding the pain of hunger. If we fail to pay attention to the food, the brain interprets this missed experience as hunger and signals us to eat more. We mistakenly think our problem is one of willpower, when instead we simply need to be more present when we eat. The net result of Sandy's work was for her astounding. She catalyzed a permanent change in weight and felt energized with food for the first time since her teen years. Slowing down and working with the wisdom of the body enabled her to increase her metabolic speed. Are you beginning to see the possibilities for your own metabolic breakthrough? Each of the 8 universal metabolizers that I've listed above is discussed in its own chapter here in this book. Each chapter represents 1 week of the 8-week Slowdown program. Each chapter begins with insights and research findings that help you become familiar with the principles of that week's metabolic enhancer, and ends with practical tools and techniques that will help you focus your attention on implementing those principles. You'll become like a personal client of mine and experience benefits that are immediate, lasting, and rewarding. The 8-week Slowdown program lays the foundation for something special to happen in your metabolic world. For as you empower yourself to explore your unique relationship to food, to let go of fear and guilt and be with your body in a dignified and loving way, you likewise empower your metabolism. The chemistry of the body is that simple and that elegant. Make this program fun, see it as an exploration, become ever more interested in your own nutritional nuances, and your success is assured. Keep a journal and write down your activities and reflections at the end of each day. Record what you ate and how you felt afterwards. Note your insights, focus on the positive, and acknowledge your progress. No matter how small the step or significant the leap, are you ready to let go of all the habits that don't work and reclaim as yours the ones that do? Are you prepared to embrace the full range of richly abundant metabolic enhancers that can both ignite both body and soul? Because science is focused on a narrow view of what health can really be. Our fitness experts are satisfied when they've burned enough calories or reached our target heart rate. Our dietary gurus are happy when our milk has enough vitamin D and our juice has enough vitamin C. Little have we realized that our diet has been collectively deficient in some important nutrients that have been around for quite some time, yet were somehow overlooked: vitamin L, love; vitamin H, happiness; and vitamin S, soul. You won't find these essential nutrients listed on the side panel of your cereal box, but don't let the absence fool you. If something is truly nourishing for the soul, then it is literally nourishing for the body, and that nourishment is what fuels metabolism.